Good evening.
Hello, hello, I say. How are you today?
I'm fine, thanks.
All
How
right.
are you?
I'm doing fine. Thank you. I'm doing fine. Have
Uh,
enough on my plate, to be honest. To have enough on one's plate, it means to
mm,
have lots of things to do.
I
Okay.
see. Mhm.
It's the 1st of March today, I said, and since today is the the 1st of March, let's learn the new idiom, to be full of the joys of spring. Have you heard this idiom before? To be
No.
full of joys of spring. Okay, to be
Mm-hmm.
full of the joys of spring. So it means to be very happy. Okay, take it down,
Uh,
please. To be full of the joys of spring.
to be full of the
Of the
joys
joys of
of
spring.
spring. Uh-huh.
Yes.
And today is the day of appreciation.
Oh,
Have you heard about this? Uh,
actually, I have, but I forgot what is the purpose of this
uh,
day.
all Kazakh people congratulate each other with the first day of spring and also say appreciation words mm, uh, to the. It's like Thanksgiving Day in USA. Yes. Uh,
Okay, I see the meaning. Okay, okay, yeah, I see the meaning. Well, quite interesting. Have no, is it a new kind of celebration? Is it a new,
I
yeah,
think that it's
holiday?
the oldest type of celebration, but in the years of Soviet Union, people forget about this, and now,
Mm,
as in modern Kazakh society, people start to renew their old traditions and celebrate their old holidays. I think so. And I also appreciate you for your time and for help me
okay,
in
my pleasure,
preparing for
Celia.
IELTS.
My pleasure, okay. And I appreciate you for your hard work, for your patience, you see?
Oh, thank
Okay,
you.
so yeah, well, we have lots of work to do, I say. Okay,
Hmm.
that's
Hmm.
why we have to get the ball rolling. Well,
Hmm.
and what we'll be doing today is we will be discussing lots of graphs today, and the focus will be on the writing of the overview, why it is really important, really crucial to deal with the overview successfully, because this is the uh, stem of your writing, of your report, you see? Okay,
Hmm.
since the question asks you to summarize the information by selecting and reporting the main features and compare where relevant. You see, if you don't write a good overview, so you lose your points in the first criteria, for the first criteria, which says that you have to develop your ideas, you have to answer the question. It means you have to identify the main features and main trends. Okay, and the main
Hmm.
features and the main trends are included in the overview. That's why it
Hmm.
is the basis of your report. Okay,
Hmm.
well, and of course, you'll have a practice task, and let's begin. Okay, and my first question is, I say, did you look through the data presented? Bless you. Okay,
Excuse
did
me.
you look
Uh-huh.
through the data presented in the slideshow presentation, which I sent you?
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Yeah,
I
okay
I'll
then.
I look through all of them. Yes,
Okay,
just
great, great.
behind the lesson.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, great. Then there will be no props related to this task then. I'd like you, I said, now I'm going to show you the different charts, different graphs, and your task is to say whether it is dynamic or static. Well,
The first one is static.
just a moment, please. If I show you that like this, can you see? Can you see it?
Yes, I see that third slide is static chart, static table or static chart. Static graph, yes.
Yes, population in GDP, right?
No? I
No?
don't see slide again. It's a black screen.
Okay.
Yes, when
I
you yes, like
Just a
this, I
moment.
see.
Just a moment, I said, because I will hide the answers because answers are provided. So I'm gonna, yeah, so that you won't be able to see the correct answers and rack your brain. You know what rack your brain means? Okay.
Rack your brain.
Rack one's brain. It means think very
Think.
intensely. Yeah, and just try to do your best in order to guess something or work out something. Okay. Well, okay. Well, so let's begin. Once again, I said, well, is it dynamic or static?
This one is static.
Static. Yes, that's right.
Yes.
Okay, enough. I said. This one?
Dynamic.
Excellent.
It is also static.
Good.
I think that this one is dynamic. I need to show differences between 1980 and 1909.
Yes, you're right. Dynamic.
Yes, it's also dynamic.
Yes, you're right.
This one is tricky.
But can you see any changes in time? I said.
Yes, I see changes in
so
time, so it's dynamic.
You're right. Okay. There are no any years, any dates. However, you can see
Seconds.
the time here. Yes. Okay. That's why it is dynamic.
This one is dynamic.
Of course.
This one is static. No.
Yeah, why not? I see.
I thought that
okay,
maybe
yes,
months
okay.
is
Yes, I'm wrong. Sorry, my bad. Yes, it's dynamic. January, February, and March. Good.
March. Yes.
So
it's dynamic. This one is dynamic.
Well, to be exact, I say this graph is considered to be static. Why? Because first of all, you can see it's a multiple chart, right? Multiple chart. Well, it consists of a pie chart and a bar chart, right? A bar chart. Well, the main is this one. I mean, a pie chart plays the main role here, and a bar chart plays supplementary role. This bar chart is supplementary. That's why it is considered to be static. Static. All right.
I should write about.
This one is the main one. This information should be just must be okay. This is a kind of additional information which must be should be described as a supplementary one. You see?
And the second is related to the green in the first?
Yes, that's right. That's right.
Okay.
Okay, good. Well, I see you did it perfectly. You know exactly what dynamic and static charts are. Now, I said, what are the key questions you need to ask yourself to write a clear overview for a dynamic graph? Just let's recall, let's memorize.
What are the key questions?
Yeah, so what things, what data should
Are
you
there
to?
are there any changes during a period of time, and what kind of changes there were?
For
Yes.
example, what do you mean when saying what kind of changes?
Dramatically increased, steadily
Yes.
decreased,
Yeah, so it
something
means
like
what
that.
does the data do from the beginning to finish, to the
To
finish,
show
right?
fluctuations, yes.
Yes, that's right. Is there any fluctuation or there is a dramatic decrease or increase, right? Rise and falls. So in general, is there an increase or decrease, okay, over the period? Yes. Well, and what are the key questions you need to ask yourself to write a clear overview for a static graph?
Так, here, what is the main, the biggest, the biggest numbers, and
And opposite?
opposite smallest numbers,
Yes, you are
and
right.
what is between them? Are there any difference between
Uh-huh. Between the
uh,
values, between the data, right?
yes.
Okay, yes, you're right. So you have to compare. You have to identify whether there are any lowest or highest values, right? Any differences, noticeable differences between them, right? Okay, good. Should you only look for differences or looking
Yes,
for
I need to write
similarities?
also
Yeah,
about
it's also
similarities. Maybe there are some similarities between
absolutely.
numbers that are located in the middle between highest and lowest.
Yes, okay. The average data. Yes, the average
The
data.
average data.
Yes. Okay, good. Well, so here are the questions. Okay, here are the questions. Just one by one, I say once again, you just have to memorize and keep them in your mind so that when you have to deal with the dynamic chart, you just can answer these questions and build up a proper overview. Okay, so let's read them.
When we're looking at dynamic graphs, we should be looking out for what does the data do from the start to the finish? Do they generally go up or down, or do they fluctuate? Any significant difference between the difference from the general trends, overall increase or decrease, and peaks and lows?
Yeah. And as for static chart overview,
What are the highest, lowest values? What are the most noticeable differences? Any similarities? Any significant exceptions? Exceptions. Okay.
yes, okay, fine, good. And now I say we are to discuss, okay, we are to discuss. Well, let's begin with this task. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
There are 5 graphs. Okay, I
Mm-hmm.
prepared for you, and you have to study them carefully and select
Mm-hmm.
the main features for the overview. Just try to follow the strategy. Okay, just try to follow the
Mm-hmm.
strategy. Well, okay, so what are the main features which can be selected for the overview of this graph? Okay, just you have just half a minute to think over.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Okay, overall, so what happened? Mm-hmm.
Overall, the number of people who traveled abroad on holiday was increased. Was
Increased,
increased.
the number increased, yes,
Uh-huh.
subject and predicate increased.
Uh-huh.
Good.
By 2008. No, I didn't. I shouldn't have said
Mm-hmm.
this. Yes. Uh, Overall, the number of people who traveled abroad on holiday was increased uh, in all countries.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, in all countries.
Mm-hmm.
And
However, Asil, just yes, there was a
but
noticeable increase,
after
right? No. Mm-hmm.
yes, but after uh, 2010,
Mm-hmm.
then the people, uh, the amount of people who traveled abroad started um, started steadily decreased.
Uh, Decrease steadily. Steadily, it means a year by year, I say. That's why
Uh,
steadily is not a good word here. It's not a good
uh-huh.
adverb here. Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Went down a little. Yes, you may say.
Um,
Mm-hmm. A
yeah.
number, yes, the number of people traveling abroad um, fell down a
Fell
little,
down, fell
right?
down,
Fell
fell
down a
down a
little.
little. Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Uh-huh.
Okay, good. Good. Well, okay, general trend. What else? Now let's look at the countries.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry, yeah, look at the countries. So because you can see. Mm-hmm.
Mm, так, French people. Uh,
Look, I see. Look at the level. Look at the level. Mm-hmm.
mhm.
What can you say? For example, in 2002, look at the level. Okay, just
Oh,
and
ten.
in general, what can you say? Uh-huh.
The 10.
Mm-hmm.
Так, on 10%, the next
The
each next
percentage, uh-huh.
the percentage was increased by 10% each uh, year.
But now you're adding the details, Asil. So details are not included in the overview. Do you remember this?
Uh, mhm,
Now we're talking about the overview only, Asil.
mhm.
About the overview
Uh,
only. Yes, okay. That's why be careful. Look at
uh-huh.
the percentage of people. For example, here, just about 20%. Here, just on average, 23, 32, 33%. Okay, here about
15%.
48%. Yeah, but something is different. Are there any significant differences? Look, the percentage of people right? The percentage of people was similar. Traveling abroad was similar, right? Was similar. Okay.
Yes, yes.
Okay. Except for okay, a percentage of people who traveled abroad was similar in each country, right? Except for what?
UK,
Yes, except for 2006. Okay, when what?
UK, citizens of UK, of the
Uh-huh.
UK
Yes.
traveled
Uh-huh.
a lot, нет,
Much more
traveled
often. Uh-huh.
much more often in comparison with other
With uh-huh.
in comparison with other countries.
Countries. Yes, in comparison with other countries. So what did you do? You identified the main trend and look for a significant difference. You can see that here the level is approximately the same, here the same, yeah, a year from year, except for 2006 when the number of people, when the number of citizens of the UK, yes, overtook the percentage of people traveling from different countries, from other countries, Spain, France, and Germany, right?
Yes.
Yes, okay. So this information, okay, this information should be included in your overview. Well, let me show you the overview. Okay, just a moment, please. Now let's have a look. Asil, okay, read it, please.
There was an overall increase in the number of foreign vacations from 2002. However, trips abroad decreased slightly after 2010. Generally, in each year, a similar percentage of people from each country took overseas holidays, except for in 2006, when there was a big difference between France and the UK.
Yes, look at the synonyms, look at the methods of paraphrasing. Foreign vacations, trips
Foreign vacation.
abroad, right? Okay, overseas holidays,
Foreign
holidays.
vacations, trips abroad,
Mhm.
overseas holidays. Yes.
Yes, okay. Is everything clear about the main trends? I see the main features here. Yeah, okay,
Yes.
fine. Keep working. The next one. Please, you have half a minute to look through it.
Let's see.
Well, please, Asil,
Mhm.
what are the main
Uh,
features?
mhm. The people, people in France. Wait, no. The people in Germany traveled um, a lot. Uh,
You mean more often?
more often
Mhm.
than other countries, than the population of other three countries,
Mhm.
and also the number of people who traveled, who who had foreign trips in Germany was wait increased through all years.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Whereas or while.
whereas
Mm-hmm.
while UK while citizens of the UK traveled.
Don't go into details. I say,
Ah,
look at the level. Look at the level. Look at the level. Okay. Did it change a lot? I mean,
no.
did the number? So what can we say in this case? Okay, the
Uh,
same, approximately the same here. You see,
uh-huh.
approximately the same. Well,
While the people in other countries
mm-hmm.
traveled abroad uh, approximately the same times,
Remained the same,
remained
right? Remained
remained
uh,
the same. Yes.
the same, yes, remained fairly the same, okay, or stable. We also may say stable, right? When
Uh-huh.
something doesn't change, okay, when something doesn't change, we
Uh,
usually say it is stable. Mm-hmm.
mm-hmm.
Well,
The overseas trips in other three countries,
mm-hmm.
the amount of overseas trips in other three countries
From, I say,
remain,
not in,
remained
because people living in these countries
ah,
from these countries, right?
from these three countries remained stable. Yes,
I say,
remain, remained stable.
sorry,
Yes.
yes, remain stable. And you, unfortunately, I didn't hear the last phrase. What did you say about just the overseas holidays? Something you said something.
Um,
Uh-huh. While the
I
number
thought
of
that
overseas
uh-huh,
holidays, while the number of overseas holidays from
from other three countries remained
mhm.
stable.
Yes,
Mm-hmm.
that's right. Well, not in three
Uh-huh.
countries, but from, because they travel from these countries. Yeah, okay,
Mm-hmm.
fine. Yes, well, okay, good. Now let's have a look. Oops, sorry.
Overall, the number of foreign holidays remained fairly stable, except for in Germany, where there was a significant increase over the years. Germans also took far more trips abroad than any of the other Europeans. They
Yes,
use they
you have
use
mentioned.
so
I say, look, you have to analyze each sentence. Look, they come from general to specific. You started from specific ones. So you identified yeah, so you firstly identified this one, the number of people traveling from Germany
mm-hmm,
at
mm-hmm,
once, right? At once. So,
mm-hmm,
but find the general trend. Look at the general trend first. Go
mm-hmm.
from, I know,
That
specific, yes,
stable.
it was
Mm-hmm,
stable, right? And then something which was different.
mm-hmm,
Okay, well, and what else here? Yeah, and you haven't mentioned Germans also took far more trips abroad than any of the other Europeans. So if
mm-hmm,
we look at it, yes, we can see that from the starting point in
mm-hmm.
2002, the number was quite high, yes, and in comparison with other countries, yeah, so they
Mhm,
traveled
mhm,
uh, much more often. Okay. Now, you see, the first one was extremely difficult. The second one was a little bit more easy. Well, now graph number three. I say now it's your opportunity to. Mhm.
mhm.
Okay. Well, half a minute.
The overall, the number of foreign trips in four mentioned countries steadily increased during
Increased steadily. I said increased steadily.
Increased steadily in the last 10 years.
Okay, over the last 10 years period.
Over the last 10 years period. While the Britons traveled abroad more often than
Britons, and I would add Spanish. The British and the Spanish.
Spanish people traveled abroad more often than French people.
Okay. Then French, why did you compare with French only? French people?
French and Germans. French and
Germans. Okay.
Yes.
Yeah, okay. Now can you just build up your overview? Just try to paraphrase, try to use special words just to make it sound better.
Overall, the number of foreign trips increased steadily in the periods from 2002 to 2012.
Okay, or over a 10-year period. Possible.
While
I don't think while is necessary here because there is no comparison. Okay, just full stop, then continue.
Moreover,
you may say moreover. Okay.
Moreover,
just not moreover. No. I say moreover is not a good idea here because moreover it means you add something else to the previously mentioned piece of information, but you see, okay, something wrongs here. Okay.
Also, in addition,
it's not necessary to use just any linking phrase here. Okay, just
British and Spanish people took travels abroad more often in comparison with French and German people.
Yes, French and German people. Okay, possible. Or you may compare the most and the least, for example. I said, well, for example, UK and people in the UK and Spain traveled, a lot, more often in comparison, and people, not in comparison, but people, overseas trips from Germany and France was at the least. Was the number, yes, of overseas trips from Germany and France was the least. The lowest, sorry, yes, the lowest. Okay, well, so if you identify the highest point, it's better to look for the lowest as well. Or your variant is also fine. You identified the highest point. Okay, also fine. Let's see. Okay, here's the overview proposed.
There was an overall increase in the number of foreign travelers from 2002 to 2012. Foreign holidays were most popular, most popular with citizens of Spain and the UK. French people took the fewest vacations to other countries over the years.
Well, you see, the area of concern, Asil, is that it's not only difficult to describe the trends, but firstly, of course, to identify them. And when you do these activities in parallel, in tandem, of course, it sounds extremely difficult. Yeah, just firstly to identify the trends, and then to use specific language, a language which can boost your score, for example. Okay, when you read "oh," so it means something something really, yeah, something really
Yes,
challenging
they
for
use
you.
yes, they use
Well,
something
yes, and
unusual
of
for me sentences.
yeah, uh-huh. And you have to notice, I said, you have to notice such kind of things, and you have to try to apply these phrases, these special expressions when describing a chart or graph. Okay, just
I
not
will, I will.
only, yes, okay. Well, so what things are here? French people took the fewest vacations to other countries over the years. Foreign holidays were most popular with citizens. You see, no linking phrases here. Okay, no linking phrase. Just as a matter of fact, number one and number two. You see, I said it doesn't mean you have to use while or and every time. Well, graph number 4.
Here. Here we see that here we see that people from France and Germany took overseas trips less
Okay.
less in the end of these periods. Also, we see that people in Spain in the same level, and in comparison, British people traveled, studied, studied to travel a lot.
Okay. Yeah, so you have described the main trends. Okay, fine. I said you have done it better in comparison with the previous ones. Okay, fine. Now try to paraphrase and try to use a high score vocabulary. Try to use the synonyms, not to say people, for example, or repeat the same words.
Overall, the number of foreign trips from France and Germany was the highest at the beginning of the period.
Okay, just what was the tendency? What was the trend? I said, don't say highest in the beginning of the period. No, just what happened to it?
Mhm. Decrease.
Okay, decrease. Do you know any other synonyms?
Fall down.
Went down, fall down. Okay.
Uh-huh.
Yes.
Uh, um, Overall, the number of foreign trips from France and Germany fell down in the
Just add the period from 2000 to 2012. Yes.
at the period 2002 to 2012. While here I can use this word.
Yes, good. While.
While British people
traveling abroad.
travel
The number of it. Okay. Just
while British people traveled abroad more often in 2012. No.
Okay, by the end of the period. Yes, by the end
By
of the
the
period. Okay.
While the British people traveled abroad more often by the end of this period.
Okay. That's it.
And I need to say about Spanish people.
And can you see that there is also the decreasing trend? So the number of people.
The number of
so
people
that's why
who traveled abroad from Spain small fluctuations, little fluctuations.
Okay, there was a small change.
Fluctuation.
I say listen, fluctuation, it means when it goes up and goes down, goes up and goes down. You cannot apply this word in this case.
Okay. Slightly differences. Slightly.
Change slightly. There was a slight, or you may say there was a slight difference. Good. There was a slight difference.
Okay.
There
was a slight difference
in
the in the travels. In the amount of people who traveled abroad from Spain.
Okay, fine, but what I would improve the repetition of the word people who travel. You see, people who travel, you just can measure this thing not only in the amount of people, but you can say the number of trips abroad, the number of overseas holidays, I say. Only the number of people, but the number of trips abroad, the number of overseas holidays, for example, you see? Okay. And sometimes try to change active into passive. Okay. Well, so let's see how I group this information. Well, please, Asil.
Okay. from an overall perspective, overseas holidays became less popular from 2002 to 2012. Or in the UK, where there was an increase in foreign holidays. Holidays in other countries were far less popular with Spanish people than any of the other European countries.
But your option is also fine. Your variant is also fine. It doesn't mean you have to write the overview exactly like this, I said. But you have identified the trends, okay? Well, Spanish, you have mentioned Spanish people in terms of a steady decrease or just small change, right? Okay. However, I have paraphrased it here a little bit in a different way. Okay, so holidays in other countries were far less popular with Spanish people than any of the European countries. Okay, far less popular, yes. Well, you see, not only people, but again, holidays. Okay, overseas holidays, trips abroad. Yeah. Well, and the last one, I said, please. Yes, I said it's quite. Are you beat? Are you tired to analyze the graphs?
No. I'm
Okay.
a little bit shocked.
Well, yes, it's a huge experience for you, of course. Okay, please.
Yes, I need to look more and more to understand how to make them
I
better
will
and
send
better.
you the the slideshow again, okay, as usually.
Так, here. Overall, the number of overseas holidays were more often in such countries, twice often in such countries like France and Germany.
Ah, okay, I see what you mean. Okay, but grammatically, your sentence is incorrect grammatically, I see. Try to paraphrase it, try to reconstruct it. Because I got your idea, but the
overseas, the numbers of overall, the number of overseas holidays were bigger.
Keep saying.
Were bigger than.
From which countries? You haven't mentioned. Overall, the number of overseas.
Okay. Overall, the number of overseas holidays
from where?
Overseas holidays from France and Germany were more often.
What about twice? You mentioned twice, something like this. Okay, we're more often is fine also.
Were bigger were bigger in 2 times. In 2 times.
In comparison with?
In comparison with Spain and in comparison with trips from Spain and the UK.
And the UK. Okay, also fine. All right. but
and also we see
it can be seen. I say you can use passive
and
voice.
also it can be seen that the vacations from all these 4 countries also it can be seen that vacations abroad from all these 4 countries decreased in 2006.
Yes, or when there was the lowest number of vacations, right? Yes, that's right. Is that all? I guess that's all enough, right? You have described 2 features. Okay, well then, I've chosen just some kind of different information, but let's see. Let's see. Your variant is also fine. Your option is also fine. Okay.
In general, the number of people who went abroad on holiday increased over the periods, except for in 2006, when all countries took the lowest number of vacations in other countries. The highest percentage of foreign holidays was taken by Germans.
By Germans, yes. You have chosen France and Germany, okay, and identified as the with the highest percentage of travelers, okay, but it's also fine, okay. Look, I compared, yes, I just combined 2 pieces of information. I mean, this one, 2006 in comparison, it's the year when there was the lowest amount of trips overseas trips, you see? Okay. Well, however, in general, it has a kind of a decreasing tendency, right? Okay. Yes. All right. I see. Difficult. Well, actually, I planned to ask you to write the introduction of this report. You have to write a task paraphrasing plus overview for this, okay, graph, as you can see. Okay, but let's briefly, I say, just look for the main features. What are the main features, and how can you paraphrase the task, and what overview would you write in this case? And you will do it at home. I mean, you will write
the
it.
amount of money that a children's charity will give. 15
So your first sentence should include the paraphrasing of this task, right? Just try to paraphrase the task first. This is your number 1 sentence. Okay.
The pie chart illustrates the revenue sources and expenditures of charity organizations of the USA in 1 year, in one chosen year.
In one chosen year. Okay, brilliant. Well done. Well done. Okay, good. Now look for the main features for the overview essay.
That total sum of was approximately the same of expenditures and revenue sources was the same.
Sorry, could you repeat? I said, could you repeat, please? Because I haven't heard properly.
The sum of
Uh-huh.
the sum of money
Mm-hmm.
in revenue sources and expenditures was
Mm-hmm.
this mm, the same? No,
Not exactly the same.
approximately the same.
Approximately the same, yes, or exceeded. Revenue sources exceeded. Exceeded means was higher. You see, the level of revenue sources, the sum of
revenue sources
exceeded
expenditures.
Yes, expenditures or outgoings, right? Okay, if we use a synonym for expenditures, we may use outgoings. Okay,
Outgoings.
incomes,
Expenditure.
revenue sources, we may use a synonym income.
Incomes. Okay.
Incomes, right? And outgoings. Outgoings. Okay, fine. Well, yes. Anything else in terms of the proportions? I say, what is clearly visual here?
The percentage of the
majority of the incomes.
The majority of incomes was donated food and community contributions.
Community. I would say donated food only. I say because it takes the largest sector, right? Okay. Well, yes, the majority of the income was made up by donated food. Was made up by, yes,
Made up by.
yes, donated food.
The majority.
Yeah. Okay. Repeat, please.
While the main part of outgoings was made up was made on program,
made up by was
made up by program services.
Yes, but you see what's not perfect about this sentence. We have used made up by twice in one sentence. Well, here we use the passive voice was made up by donated food. Now, here we can use the active voice. For example, program services, while program services composed the most of spendings. Composed? Yeah, составили, right? Composed the most of spendings. Okay?
Okay.
The most or composed
While
the most
program services composed the main spendings.
The most, I would say, right? The most of spendings. Больше, составили
most of
большую
spendings
часть.
or compose the most of outgoings.
Yes, that's right. Also fine, also fine. Well, we compared this data, this sum with this sum, and said that incomes exceeded the outgoings, right, exceeded, and we identified the biggest share here that donated food or just the majority of incomes was made up by donated food, while program services composed the most of spendings, outgoings, or expenditures. Yeah? Yeah? Okay. So this is the paraphrase. So your sentences in introduction consists of two sentences, as you know, paraphrasing of the task, okay, and the overview, okay? Or the overview can be a separate paragraph as well. You can write it separately, I say. Well, okay, just let's read the sample answer. Okay, don't do it, okay, at home. You will do another one. We have already analyzed it and think of the overview, sort of the overview well, okay?
The pie charts indicate the amounts of revenue and expenditures over a year of a children's charity in the USA. Overall, overall, it can be seen that donated food accounted for the majority of the income, while program services composed the most of expenditures. Total revenue sources just exceeded outgoings.
We have
For,
used, yes,
composed.
we have used passive voice here, was made up by, составлено, right, was made up by. However, here there is the active voice, and you just can use accounted for, which is the synonym for made up, made up. Okay, it's also the synonym. So just memorize these words, Asil, because when you describe graphs and charts, you need such words. Account for, right? Compose, make up, right? Exceed. Okay, well, just memorize them. Well, and your home task will be this one, Asil. Okay, you will have to deal with this line graph, okay, and please write the full report, not only the introduction and overview. I said, just full report, okay, full report. And actually, just we have done little today. I've planned to do these stuff as well, okay, you see. Well, however, I see that you need some time to get adapted to this piece of information. You have to firstly learn a step by step how to analyze and to gain some speed, you see, because you start from the lowest point right now and you have to move up a step by step, but you need some time to learn how to do it properly. Just you have to keep the strategy in your head. First of all, you have to identify whether the graph is dynamic or static. Then you have to ask some questions. What are the peaks and lows? What are the general trends from what happens from the beginning to the end? Are there any significant differences? So you have to keep it in your mind, you see? Then you have to practice writing the introduction, because introduction, it means the paraphrasing of the task and the overview, and overview is the key. This is a core of your report, I said. And to do it properly, you have to learn and study and discuss lots of graphs, okay, for example, the way we have done it today. And then when you learn how to write the overview properly, you come up to describing details, I said, because details come out of your overview, you see? General trends in the overview and details in the main body paragraphs, you see? Well, so these are the main. Did you study? Did you prepare for the writing task one this way? I mean, how did you prepare before we started doing it? I mean, when you prepared on your own.
I just watch some videos from YouTube channels, and I made some essays and read some essays from IELTS preparation books. Yeah, I remember.
You
And
didn't
that's
get
all.
any feedback, right?
My
You didn't give
writing
any.
was
Yeah.
6.0 that time.
But it's a good result. It's a high result, I said. It's a high result. Depending on that, depending on the fact that you were preparing on your own, you had been preparing on your own for this exam. Yeah. Well,
And I don't
however,
use such
uh-huh.
words. I think I wrote simply, everything simply.
But your purpose now is 7.5. I see.
Yes, I
You
need
see,
to work
you have
hard.
to change your strategy. You have to change
Yes,
your approach. Yeah.
yes, I
Okay.
see, I know.
I say, please work hard. Just stay concentrated. Okay. Do it
Uh-huh.
persistently. No, okay. Don't give up. Just analyze. Just look, study, and analyze the language, the range of vocabulary, the
Mhm,
steps. Okay, the steps, how this or that graph, the way this or
mhm.
that graph is described.
Yeah,
Mhm.
I see my mistakes.
Yes,
Yes.
okay, that's good.
Mm-hmm.
That's good. Well, so your homework for
Mm-hmm.
Friday will be assigned via WhatsApp as usually. I said I will send you the slideshow presentation as well. Okay, and that's it, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
So
Mm-hmm. Yelena,
yes,
tomorrow I will be on how it is суточное дежурство.
okay,
Shift.
shift, right?
Yes.
On your
Uh,
shift.
and can I send the tasks on Sunday evening?
On Sunday evening? Yes, of course.
Okay.
Yes, of
Mm-hmm.
course. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So have a good weekend. Have a lucky shift. Okay. Well, see you. I
Mm-hmm.
said. Okay.
Bye.
Goodbye.
Thank
Thank
you
you.
very much.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Goodbye.
Mm-hmm.